Hi, my name is Sarah Danaher, and I'm the Jenkins MBA admissions recruiter. Thank you so much for joining us for our first ever Jenkins MBA Spotlight series. Whether this is your first episode or your 10th, we're really happy you're here. Today, my colleague, Riley Hutchison, Assistant Director of Admissions, and I will be sharing with you some stories and experiences from some of our amazing students and alumni. This 10-part, 5-week series will feature interviews, personal success stories, as well as first-hand tips and tricks for admission. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoy.
Thank you all so much for joining us once again for our second to last Jenkins MBA Spotlight interview series. Once again, I am here with my colleague Sarah Danaher, and joining us tonight, we have Jenna and Zach. So Jenna and Zach, would you all mind introducing yourselves really quickly? Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and any fun facts that you would want to share. And Zach, you can go ahead and start.
Sure. Hi, I'm Zach Daughtry. I work for Zeal Abeg, which is a German industrial fan manufacturer in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm a strategic purchaser there, so I'm responsible for finding and qualifying vendors for our North American supply chain. Interesting fact about myself, I spend most of my time trying to train our Australian Shepherd Maverick. So that's a big task.
Yeah, quite a task. And what about you, Jenna?
So my name is Jenna Hanks, and I am the coordinator of gratitude and stewardship at High Point University. So I work in institutional advancement, doing development. I really work to create kind of long-lasting relationship with our donors, steward them, make sure that all of their funds and needs are met so that we can really keep those relationships as they're either current students, parents, onto alumni, and just good friends of the university to help meet our needs and the needs of the community. And fun fact about myself, we just bought a house. We are working on moving into it next week. So we're doing that too. And so that's exciting.
Congratulations. I know that is a lot, but I hope the move goes smoothly.
It's going pretty smoothly so far.
Good.
I love it. Well, congratulations again. That is quite a big step. My question for you two would be, how did you hear about the Jenkins MBA program, kind of being a little outside of our Raleigh area?
So when I was an undergrad at NC State, I knew a couple of people who were going straight from undergrad to the Jenkins program. So that's how I first heard about it. At the time, I didn't think that a master's was for me, but once I got out there and started working, I realized that if I wanted to advance my career, I needed to go back and get my MBA. And so then we talked about it. Jen and I both talked about it, and we started doing our research about different programs, either in the area or online.
I spoke with, I was kind of like Zach. I didn't think that I was going to be going back to get my master's, so I never put thought into it when I graduated. I graduated from state also for undergrad. And I had never really put thought into it before. But I kind of realized as I got into the workforce for what I wanted to do that I was going to need that extra degree. I was going to need more skills than what I had because my undergraduate degree was in natural resources with a concentration in policy and administration. And now I'm more in the development world. So I knew that I was going to need something to help me get those business skills because I didn't have those. That wasn't a main focus in my undergraduate. So I sat down with my supervisor and actually the vice president in our department, and I said, what do you want for, and then I put out like different positions that people in our office had. I said, what do you want for those kind of positions? And they said, an MBA, this is what we need. And so then we started kind of looking into the different programs that we had, and we kind of decided for us that the Jenkins MBA was the best after looking at the value, and especially both of us wanting to go back, that was going to be the best for us because we both wanted to go back, and so we both needed to work, and being able to go back online and still be able to be a working professional was definitely a big draw, because we still are able to get that good kind of class experience, but then we're able to go to work every day and apply those things. So that was a really big thing that kind of drew us to that program.
Most definitely. We are a big fan of flexibility and your return on investment. So we're so happy you took that into consideration.
Most definitely. And so you both knew you wanted to go back, especially online as working professionals. You decided to apply to the Jenkins MBA program. What was that application process like? How was it as you were navigating the application, the interview? What was that like?
I felt that the application process was actually very straightforward, very simple, especially being a working professional. That was something that had kind of intimidated me at first. Why I had never done it before now. It's something that we had always talked about, but I finally saw that there was an information session in Greensboro, and I attended it. The information that I got from there that kind of outlined like, this is what you need and that kind of thing. I brought my resume to it, and I think, Sarah, you might have actually been there, because I think I talked to you and I brought my resume and I said, this is what I have. Like, is this what you are looking for in a student? And that kind of actually gave me the confidence to be able to apply, because I had always thought, oh, you know, an MBA program, would they want a student like me? I don't know. And so that really made me feel like that we could do it. And so we went home, and Zach actually couldn't attend that information session because he, I think you had something to do after work.
Yeah.
But we were able to go start our application that night, work on our essays. I thought the in-person interview was a lot of fun, because it was like you were interviewing us, but we were also kind of interviewing you to make sure that the program was a good fit for us and our situation, and that we were going to be able to get the things out of it that we needed, which, being NC State, I knew that that was not going to be an issue, especially being there from undergrad. I knew that we were going to be able to get all the support that we needed. So that was never a question that I really had, but it was nice being able to ask those questions and that kind of thing. And so that kind of really solidified that we had made the right decision. And then just waiting for the email that we had been accepted was really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. It was straightforward. I actually ended up completing my application while I was on an assignment in Germany. I was at our corporate headquarters. So every night when I would get back from dinner after work, I would work on my essays. I was about 6 hours ahead of Jenna, so I would call her, and around like 10 o'clock when she was kind of getting off work, and we would talk about our essays and read them to each other, and, you know, try and talk about, you know, what we thought, you know, what we could correct. And that was nice. And then I really enjoyed the interview with Sarah. I liked talking about, you know, where my career was, where I wanted it to be. I also liked that you asked me questions about who I was as a person and what kind of leader I wanted to be, what kind of leaders I emulated. So I really enjoyed the process.
Wonderful. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed that experience. And my next question for you guys would be, you know, you went through the application process, you interviewed for the program. What eventually solidified your decision to attend the Jenkins MBA online program?
Well, I think our familiarity with NC State was a big part of it. We were both undergrads. We both know that NC State's all about being pragmatic and realistic. A lot of the professors that we had in undergrad were former working professionals who, you know industries and know, you know, the tricks of the trade. Sometimes, you know, there's nothing wrong with a professor who's an academic, but sometimes it's good to hear from somebody who went out there and did it. And that's something we liked about State. We liked about the value. It's one of the top MBAs for value. And, you know, us both going back, that's quite a bill. You know, some programs, it could get up to 120,000 a person, and that's a lot. So that was one of the main things. But, you know, our familiarity with NC State, you know, we're in Greensboro, so we're only an hour and a half from campus. So if we had to be there, you know, it wasn't a huge issue. And yeah, and then I'd say the process altogether. everything about the program just checked all the boxes.
Yeah, I think I would just reiterate the fact that we would just be able to both go back at the same time, and be able to afford to do that, and still get a high quality MBA, I think is really important. We weren't having to sacrifice like quality of education for cost. We were able to get both at the same time and still be able to work. I think that was just, we were able to get everything that we wanted. And so we were like, let's do it.
Absolutely. So you're accepted, you're in, you've made your decision. How has it been as an engaged couple having your fiance in the program with you?
I think it's been a really big benefit actually, because we really didn't have a problem transitioning our lifestyle back to school because we haven't been out of school, that long. So being able to both transition over to back to get home and kind of our new norm of being able to, okay, now we're going to do class, and then we figured out how we were going to do dinner and study, and we would figure out how to do group projects because we had a lot of those. We would have a lot of group chats and things like that, and we were able to still be in the same groups and things, which were nice. So we were able to stay on the same schedule, and so we would be able to do designated homework times and things like that. So it actually was pretty easy being able to do that, and then just being able to study together and actually have that person that you were still kind of competing against was really kind of a good motivator to have right there.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that it was great having, that study partner, that person to hold you accountable. Some days you come home from work and you don't really want to do it, but it's good having that person to push you. And then, we're studying and we're taking a lot of the same classes right now. So if I don't understand something, there's usually a 95% chance that Jenna gets it. And so we usually will help each other kind of pick up where we don't understand something. And, if neither of us get it, then it's time to email the professor. But overall, there's that competition. We both, try and see who can get the better grade, who does better on the test and that sort of thing. But, we study together, we proofread each other's papers. It's a great, it's like having a live-in cohort. It's been very beneficial.
I absolutely love that. It's a really strong partnership, especially in a program that, holds its students accountable and definitely allows you to have that added bonus. Jenna, are there any special classes or projects that you really enjoyed or that just really stood out to you so far?
So we just finished a critical thinking class, and I really enjoyed that actually, because we were able to, so each week we had like a different kind of way we would approach a problem, and we had to kind of like dissect the problem and think about it and identify our biases and things like that and approach it from a different angle. And so at the end of the class, we were able to take a problem from our work life and apply those principles to it, to kind of solve it from a critical thinking perspective. And so it was actually able to help me fix a problem that I had at work that I had been struggling with over a period of time. So it was nice to be able to take those skills and really apply it to something that was tangible and helped me at work, because it was nice to be able to go to my supervisor and say, look, I came up with this solution for this thing that we've been struggling with for however long. So that was a really nice thing to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. And what about you, Zach? Have you found any projects or classes that really stood out to you?
The finance course, MBA 520, I really enjoyed that one with Dr. Cohen.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was a tough class, but you really learned from him, and he had a lot of real world experience. And after doing some of the assignments in there, I decided to change my desired concentration from supply chain to finance. And I think that's where, I want my career to go. And I think that'll help me be a more rounded individual.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy you said that because it brings up a great point that you don't necessarily have to create your area of emphasis or in the full-time program, your concentration right away. You're able to get a full foundation in business principles and then be able to make your decision while being able to kind of dip your toes in all different formats of the MBA.
Absolutely. And you kind of touched on this a little bit, Zach, about career, but how do you feel that the Jenkins MBA program has helped thus far or will help you reach your career goals in the future?
I'd say that since I began the program a little over a year ago, I've received a lot more respect from my manager. She depends on me a lot more. I have a lot of new responsibilities, a lot of reporting to senior leadership. And, I feel like the MBA's open doors and I'm able to speak the lingo with senior leadership, with vice presidents and the president of my company. And that's something I've really enjoyed growing from this program.
Being responsible for stewarding donors, a big part of that is making sure that we are stewarding their funds appropriately. So I'm responsible for producing all of our endowment reports every year. So I have seen that my supervisor has given me more responsibility in looking at that after I've been able to take those accounting classes. I feel like she has a lot of confidence in me now that she knows that I have that background than people who might have had my position before. And I've been able to have those conversations with her, and I am able to understand, what we're talking about and bring things, to her and to the table. And I'm able to participate in those higher level conversations about things so that we are providing, the highest level of service to our donors. And so just being able to kind of bring that to the table, I think is something in my position that hadn't been done before. So I think that that's something that, kind of surprised them, and is kind of like I'm able to now kind of reshape my position and kind of going in a different direction than we had expected before. So I'm hoping that it's going to be able to kind of push my career along.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that too. And it really just is a testament to both of you that, with this program, you're able to directly apply what you're learning in the classroom to your job the very next day, while giving you the building blocks to really build the career that you want to have. So my last question for you guys today would be, is there anything else that you would like to add about your experience so far? Any tips or tricks for prospective students?
I'd say make sure you use the Career Center. John Hutchings is a great resource. He was somebody I talked with a lot when I was debating what to do with my concentration, whether I wanted to stay in supply chain because that's what I knew, or branch out and do something like finance where, I could grow and potentially take on more of a, take my career to where I want to go, which would be senior leadership in a C-suite potential role one day. And he was a great resource. He has a lot of great events where you can learn, what hiring managers are looking for, anything like that. And I know Jenna's actually gotten quite a bit from Lee Shamblin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been helping me with strengths coaching, which I've been able to kind of take back to work and has really helped me in my position there too. And so she has been a huge help with that. We have weekly phone calls, and she's just been a great mentor as far as that goes. And for prospective students, I would just say, don't be afraid to apply, because in order to achieve what you want, you have to invest in yourself before anyone else will. So just, take the time. It's not, I don't want to say it's not that hard, because it is going to be a lot of time, but if you want to achieve the things that you want to achieve, this is a step that you need to take. And NC State is a great place to do it, and the Jenkins MBA is a great place to do it. And so I would just encourage you to go ahead, take that first step and reach out, go ahead and apply, because now is as good a time as ever to go ahead and do it, because you can't go out and do things. So go ahead and invest in yourself and take that next step.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to sit down with us tonight to give us some insight into your journey into the MBA program, helpful tips and tricks. And we cannot say thank you enough. So if you're interested in tuning in, we have one more Jenkins MBA Spotlight series coming up next, which will be the recap of all of the interviews thus far. If you want to hang on for 1 second, there will be contact information on the screen for all of us. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. But thank you for tuning in once again, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.